Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WrestleBlock YouTube channel. It's 4:36 in the morning, at least here, at least when I'm doing this, although you'll probably be watching it later on. This is the WWE Money in the Bank review. I'm, of course, the Egyptian Death Machine, Aeron. And joining me is the Canadian Destroyer, the Maple Leaf Magician, the Duke of Diabetes, the man with 1,000 times more insulin than Kenny Omega, but most importantly, 1,000,000 times more promo skills and hopefully a far more enticing viewpoint of wrestling than that clown will ever have. It is, of course, Carl Wilkinson.
Pleasure's always my friend. This was a damn good show, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Show opens proper with the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Yes, indeed. All these women vying for an opportunity. And let's get right to it. Liv Morgan, Money in the Bank winner. You called it. You called it. I Lacey Evans thought they were going to go with swerves. But they went with the obvious. And to be honest, this was the obvious choice. That was the right choice. Liv Morgan is the Money in the Bank winner. She is known as Miss Money in the Bank. Not a big fan, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. The important thing is she's at the top of the mountain, at least in this match. And as we're about to obviously mention later, she also cashed in successfully. Spoiler alert. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know, right? Shock. A good night to be a Liv Morgan fan. As everybody knows, it's a running joke, but it's also true. Liv Morgan is like my dream woman. She's incredible. And I honestly, seeing her, you know, with all that emotion, that outpouring, I thought it was a beautiful moment. I did.
Oh, it was. I'm just glad I called it, because sometimes the obvious choice is the best choice. And this was absolutely one of those times. And you're right, just seeing like the pure emotion, like, you know that they know who's going to win, but still, like, it just seeing her up there on top of that ladder, just the happiest person in the world. It was heartwarming, and it was a great finish too. Honestly, and otherwise, there's a bit of clunks in this match, and it didn't take away from the finish, but like they need to be addressed.
Yeah, like you're not going to have a perfect science with a match like this. So you need it to be a car crash, but you need it to be a good car crash, not a ludicrously unsafe, bad-looking one. And that's kind of how it was getting into it. Raquel Rodriguez is easily the biggest woman in the match. Big, powerful, strong, physical. Spent most of it getting jobbed out, beaten up constantly. Shotzi Blackheart made so many botches. I know people are big fans of her because she's alternative and because she's a little bit, it's like the modern Lita, you know, she's got coloured hair and tails. And yeah, she's hot as fuck. And she's overall quite a good worker, but she was fucking terrible in this match. Like, she was not good in this match. She was botching all over the place. And for me, it does leave a bit of a bad taste in your mouth. There are a lot of bad moments where we thought, oh, fuck, like Shotzi as well. It's like, I felt bad for her, you know, back of her head off the ladder. You think, oh, why? Like, just what? Why? Like, you know, Becky Lynch does the sit out senton for about halfway off the ladder. And, you know, a lot of these spots for me just felt pointless and they weren't executed well. And, the botches were too high profile. There was enough of them that I felt like the match wasn't that great. But from a booking standpoint, the perfect decision having Liv Morgan win.
Yeah, like I said, it didn't take away from the finish, but it happened really early on. So kind of by the end, when, you know, Liv's climbing the ladder, you kind of forget about it because all you're doing is going, yes, Liv, climb up the ladder. Don't be stupid and take 20 minutes like everybody else. Because that's the worst part about ladder matches is people just going,
getting rigor mortis all of a sudden, like, oh! And they just freeze. It's like, yeah. The men's one was fucking terrible for that. Like, ridiculously over the top. But yeah, no, it was fucking awesome. The way it finished was great. There are a few plus sides though, you know, like fair play. To be honest, if you're Shotzi, you kind of got to go all out because chances are they're not going to use you much, like not in a prominent situation. So this was a good chance to show off and do something different. I think, you know, the women in it gave it their best shot. This match would have benefited from having a Naomi, having a Sasha Banks. Could have done with a little bit more star power, a little bit more firepower. Alexa Bliss was quite good in this match. Thought she was very well measured. But yeah, at least the right person won, and that's all that matters. Now, Carl Wilkinson's going to run you through the next match because unfortunately, I fell asleep. I was very, very, very tired from doing a show today. I've been very busy, a lot of work this weekend, and still only Sunday. My God. And so Theory defended his United States title against Bobby Lashley. Was he successful? No, he wasn't. Bobby Lashley beat him. how was this? And also, did Bobby Lashley go over clean?
Yeah, it was a clean win. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to this either because I didn't care.
Did he tap him?
To be honest, like yeah, it was a hurt lock finish. He got some big power moves in. The Theory actually hit a spear, like a moose style spear, where he hits him and rolls through completely. Yeah. That was pretty sick. Theory's like he's a strong kid, like he's a big kid. Lashley's obviously bigger, but he still got some power in. Both guys obviously got their shit in, but Lashley goes over, which I was surprised with. I thought they were going to stick Theory with the U.S. title for a while, but other plans were had. And I mean, I'm fine with Lashley with the U.S. title. I hope he can do something with it. He's still really bad as a face because he can't cut a good promo.
Yeah.
It's just
no MVP, mate. No party.
No. It's just how long did Theory have that title? It wasn't even that long. Maybe a couple months, maybe 2 months, 3
months back. It's like nothing like massive. Like it didn't feel like an earth-shattering kind of thing.
No.
Yeah. I mean, apparently the match was 11 minutes long. It was a match. I mean, I'm surprised Theory tapped out just because it's very obvious, judging from the end of the show, who the big deal is going to be. But that being said, brand new United States champion, Bobby Lashley feels like a really high-end dominant mid-carder. So maybe that's what the belt needs. Maybe they need somebody with a pedigree. This is a 2-time WWE champion now. So, hopefully he'll elevate the belt and in the process, hopefully elevate himself as well. But no idea. Who would you have face Lashley next for the United States title?
Needs to Damian Priest, maybe?
Priest seems like a good effort. I feel like, especially now that they've lost Edge, the Judgment Day for me don't feel like a main event faction. Feel like a very mid-card faction. Finn Balor would be a good choice as well. Yeah, I mean, the only problem is obviously Damian Priest has been United States champion quite recently, hasn't he? So maybe Finn Balor, but then so is Finn Balor. I'm pretty sure Finn Balor took it off of Damian Priest. And then Theory took it off. And then I'm
pretty sure also, yeah. So, I mean,
it's a roundabout way. So do you really want to go right back through the cycle of things? Now's a good opportunity to bring somebody else, and maybe a Tommaso Ciampa who's sitting on Raw, not doing a great deal, kind of milling around. Maybe AJ Styles is going to step up. Doesn't have to necessarily be a heel. Could just be a very great competitive wrestler. The United States Championship is synonymous with the Open Challenge. So we'll see. Raw Women's Championship. What's that, brother?
Those were the days of the U.S. title Open Challenge.
Never been a big fan, personally. Singles match for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair successfully defeated Carmella by pinfall. A little bit more competitive than we thought, but overall still quite a strong showing. This was more Bianca Belair showcasing what she could do, and every now and then Carmella had an opportunity to kind of flex herself a little bit as a heel.
Yeah, I think with both Sasha Banks and Naomi being gone, they were probably penciled in for this, or at least one of them or something for SummerSlam. So they kind of changed the plans.
Was meant to be in this position, wasn't she? So.
Oh yeah, she got hurt or something, or
I think she's injured. Yeah, I haven't seen her on Raw for a couple of weeks. Like they sort of mentioned it on Raw, and then Carmella won this kind of match, and then come out and cut this. To be fair, a really good promo. We said this, didn't we? Me, you, and Cam watching it live. Carmella doesn't get enough credit for being a great heel. Like she does her job properly. She gets massive heat.
Oh, very well.
Now, people are going to say, "Oh, well, she gets heat because she's a fucking bitch," and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, cool. Doesn't matter. She's getting heat. She's doing her job. Her job is to be hated. Yeah. She's fucking ludicrously hot. Corey Graves is great at putting her over and making it even more insufferable because you're like, oh, shut up, dickhead. Like, nobody cares about your missus. So it's really well done. And she was the perfect transitional opponent for Bianca Belair before she gets the more high-end talents. And Bianca Belair looks strong without having to bury Carmella. So I actually think, considering that this is probably a match that everyone thought, whatever, nobody really cares, it actually delivered pretty well, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Carmella got a bit of a beatdown on Bianca after the match, which kind of still made her look pretty strong. But at the same time, Bianca was still standing by the end, like, yeah, you beat me down, but I'm still up. I'm still the EST. I'm the best and all. So I think both competitors come out looking pretty strong. And that's good because Bianca's last title run ended abruptly. Let's use that term loosely. And I think she's been on a good run since Mania so far. But then again, she was last year. About this time last year, now that you mention it.
It is full circle as well, because let's not forget that it was going to be Bianca versus Carmella, wasn't it? And then Becky came out at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So it's actually good storytelling for her to have a go. It doesn't hurt for Carmella to be in a high-profile spot on a pay-per-view. Like, she's probably not going to be in another one for a little while, but I actually think from a character standpoint, she's got everything going on, and she is popular. Her stuff with Corey Graves is actually very, I was going to say Carmella Hayes for some reason. Corey Graves, like, you know, they're popular. People like them. People like their documentary thing that they do on YouTube, the reality TV stuff. You know, it's got that Total Divas vibe. Not my cup of tea. People like it, though. People watch this stuff, and we live in a very modern reality TV bullshit era where people like plastic fake bullshit. They like having that fly-on-the-wall documentary style thing about people's relationships. You know, Ms. and Mrs. is another good example of that. So, you know what? Be quite cool to see maybe, you know, those two pairings come together at some point and kind of, I don't know, slowly implode. Speaking of pairings that come together and come together well, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. In what is easily the match of the night, in my opinion. The Usos successfully defended the titles against the Street Profits. Now, I thought coming into this, here we go. Another fucking match with these two, and I love both these teams. They're two of my favorite tag teams in the world. But I thought, okay, yeah, but I have seen it so many times. What could they possibly give me that I haven't already seen? Oh, turns out probably the best match I've ever seen these two teams have against each other. This was 23 minutes on the dot of almost 5-star perfection, and as far as I'm concerned, probably Angelo Dawkins coming out party. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay. Now it's not just Montez Ford I could see as a WWE champion. Now I can see you, because he has worked so hard to drop his weight, to get more athletic, to get sicker. And you know what? Let's just say it how it is. Eddie Kenway, he was up in our grill and he's, Angelo Dawkins, terrible wrestler. I think gave him his worst.
Garbage.
Yeah, said he couldn't work. If he watches this and still thinks that, well, you're a fucking mark, sunshine, because, mate, absolutely killer. What a performance from all four men, but especially Angelo Dawkins. By the way, special shout out for the ludicrously overused saturation that is the suck it chant from Montez. Suck it. Like, he was just going fucking, he was going in full click mode. It was hilarious.
No, we talked about it when we were watching. Angelo Dawkins still has the best hot tag in WWE right now. Might be in all of wrestling right now, maybe.
Like the upgrade from primetime players, isn't it?
Yeah, like when he gets in there and he's the big guy, he's throwing his body around, he's doing pounces, shoulder tackles. Like, he's a big guy and moving fast. And
front flipped over the top rope, landed on his feet. Insane. Insane.
I mean, it's no Montez Ford doing his, suicide dive over the turnbuckle, but it's, baby steps.
But we know that he can do that. We've seen him do that. Like, Montez Ford is expected in some ways to be that lunatic and do that crazy athletic shit. I've never seen Angelo Dawkins do that. It was so nice. I've seen him do like some good stuff. I've never seen, this was next level shit. Their ring gear was on par, and Usos, once again, it's another 5-star banger. Obviously, that's subjective depending how you look at it. But this is another world-class wrestling match for them to hang their hat on. And boy, have they got quite the resume going on. Not just as a tag team, but also as singles guys. Especially Jay, with his little rivalry he had with Roman Reigns. But he had 2 real special matches with that guy. And here he is, just, man, the Usos are timeless. I genuinely believe that they are the best tag team in the modern era. I believe that. And every time you think, it's really funny. FTR come out on social media, don't they? Start chatting shit. Maybe we're the ones now, Well, that's a fucking shot across the barrel right back. They took a shot across the bar, and fucking the Usos literally picked up the loaded gun and fired straight back. Went, have some of that, you fucking bellends.
I don't think I've ever been as sucked in by all of the near falls as I was in this match. Like, like the 2.999999 kind of ones.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought there was definitely a couple where I thought the Profits have them. They have them. Well, especially with that blockbuster, that top rope, whatever they put it, like, oh man, like the street sweeper.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Then is that like the Dawkins spinebuster into the frog splash? I don't know if that's like their tag finisher. But...
Is that as well? Yeah, like it just worked on so many levels. It had so much energy and so much passion in it. It just felt like something really, really, really special. And I mentioned it when we were watching it. This now feels like Usos versus New Day was like 2 or 3 years ago. It kind of feels like it's stepped into that mold now. This is the tag team rivalry we're going to hang our hats on. Black excellence is definitely alive and well, and Black wrestling has never looked better. Very fucking impressed. I loved every single bit about this. By the way, Usos wearing them fresh Air Force Ones as always. As a trainer, man, very happy about that.
Do they call like their version of the three? Was it the 1D?
The 1D, because it's one and done, yeah. So when they hit that, it is a finish. And I think it's really cool because they hit everything else, couldn't put them away, got them with that. So they protected the finisher while also having a crazy amount of near falls and making the Street Profits look insanely strong. The only downside to this is probably the argument that, hey, we could have actually done with still having 2 sets of tag titles because the Street Profits, after a performance like that, deserve something special. They deserve to be at the top of their mountain, so to speak. Obviously, they can't be because of the Usos, but at the same time, it does kind of broaden the horizons of the tag team division because, let's be honest, there ain't really anyone else left, is there? The Usos have pretty much ran through everybody. Who are they dropping the belts to?
Maybe Street Profits at SummerSlam. So, the match ended. I think it was. I don't know if it was Jay or Jimmy had Montez down for the count.
Wasn't it? He actually tucked his shoulder. Did you notice that on the pin? To make sure that it was like, and then they had the replay. So obviously that was a work, which is cool. And that means another match. And if they're going to deliver something like this, I think they should go next level, do a ladder match or something like that. It's a shame that obviously we've had 2 tonight, so you can't really kind of have the same one. But you've got to find something. Maybe 2 out of 3 falls. Maybe
just a steel cage. Give me a steel cage.
Potentially, yeah. I feel like that would inhibit them a little bit, especially Montez Ford, who likes flying over the top rope like a maniac.
Just jump off the top of the cage. What do you mean? No big deal. It's only like 15 feet.
I'd like to see him jump and flip over the cage. Let's see if he can do that. Then I'll be impressed. No,
give him the trampoline like Sin Cara and see if he can jump from the outside, the inside.
Exactly. Yeah. Sin Cara can make it over with his botchiness, then there's no reason why Montez Ford can't look like a star. Great match. 5-star, or as close to as you'll get this year. Definitely up there as a match of the year contender, ironically enough, alongside FTR and the Briscoes. So the people who are giving them a little bit of a niggle online. Natalya challenged Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and she lost by submission. That's not the full story, but before we talk about, obviously, the story after this, this match, did it hit for you okay? I thought Ronda Rousey was great, but there is a real knock on her, and people say that she's quite sloppy. She's not very good at smooth wrestling. A lot of it just looks very clanking. It's like an MMA woman trying to kind of force her style on a more, shall we say, predetermined style of WWE style wrestling. Does it work? I personally like this match. Did you?
I mean, it's hard to like things with Natalya, and I know that sounds like so awful, but
no,
she's still a good wrestler. She is. I think that's. Yeah, I mean, she can wrestle. That's literally it. But I think she didn't carry Ronda because I think Ronda needs to be carried, but she still helped her look even stronger than she already was. It wasn't, as smooth or as polished as people might want it to be, but it still did what it needed to do, I think. And it was fine.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey had to go over. Natalya had to. This match, I believe, was set up to help Ronda Rousey have a legitimate match under her belt. And that's going to be even more important now because obviously at the end of this match, Liv Morgan successfully cashes in Money in the Bank to become the SmackDown Women's Champion. We thought for a moment, oh God, she's just going to tap. They're going to job her out.
I was terrified. I was fucking terrified.
The only thing I hate about people cashing in the same night is it kind of then all of a sudden takes away a really great storyline for TV. Now, obviously, we still got the men's. That wasn't cashed in. But it's that, and obviously, it wasn't going to be, was it, on the main event, especially with Roman Reigns not being around. But it's that thing of the women need as much airtime and story time as possible. This was a great device to make it easy. Liv Morgan could come out and say, Liv Morgan can still do this, but it would have been cool if she'd be came out and said, look, this is the first step. towards achieving everything I've ever wanted to do, and build it towards a huge pay-per-view like a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania where she finally wins the big one in front of the biggest crowd possible. You know, it was a great moment. The crowd were red hot for it and they freaked out. I would have liked to have seen her hit a finisher. I'm being a nitpicker, but, you know, she just kicked her in the knee and then rolled her up. And I was like, okay, but Ronda Rousey's just had enough strength to hold you in a massive ankle lock for like 30 seconds. So, yeah, you know, little things, but shouldn't take away from the fact Liv Morgan is one of the most deserving. I can hear Kane from here. He's screaming, fuck you, because he hates her. But the bottom line is, not that Kane, by the way, but the bottom line, we don't know, maybe he hates her too. But the bottom line is that she deserves it. She's worked hard. She's beautiful. She's talented. She's funny. She's an entrepreneur. She's got everything. She's got all of it in her locker to be a great champion. And if Alexa Bliss can certainly really kind of push herself on to that next level like she has, there's no reason why Liv Morgan can't either. Just hopefully she's not going to have a stupid doll and doing terrible fucking credit card adverts in a couple of months' time, because, my Lord. Great moment. Great moment. Do you think it keeps Ronda Rousey as strong as they hoped? You know, she put her over as well, held her arm up and said, you know, you deserve it, and then left.
Yeah, maybe she'll leave for a few months. You'll spend more time at home with her daughter, which is absolutely fine. We also forgot to mention when she put Natty in the sharpshooter and did the HBK pose, and that was the best thing. Best thing.
I could hear Canada in unison. What is it? A day removed from Canada Day, and she's doing that. That's a baller move.
But now that Liv's champ, I want Bayley to come back. I want Liv and Bayley. I think that would be great. This is the perfect time for Bayley to come back.
Yeah, Bayley.
I wanted her back since like the Rumble. So
Bayley has not been seen for a long time. And it's that thing of like, she can come out and be like, who's this dog? Why is she champion? Like, what the hell?
Ding dong. Yeah, that's all I want.
What the hell's happened to this division? What are you doing? And then Liv Morgan can be the beautiful, plucky underdog that, you know, gets the win. When everyone thinks that she's going to fall at the first order, you got to prove yourself. You got lucky, you know, because that's probably what they're going to do. Oh, you got lucky. You just cashed in. You know, you won Money Event. You cashed in. You took advantage of a vulnerable person who was injured. You can't retain this title when somebody's fit and fully healthy. We're about to find out. And also, SmackDown is going to have a bit more Liv. I mean, I'm okay with that because SmackDown is definitely better than Raw. So even more excuse to watch SmackDown. And of course, Raw picks up the Money in the Bank briefcase on the men's side of things because an individual was inserted into this match right before it started by the name of Theory. Would it have been Edge? Well, that would have been good, wouldn't it? Could it be Finn Balor? Maybe Damian Priest? Maybe, you know, the Judgment Day kind of pulled their leverage a bit. Nah, it's Theory because he's Vince McMahon's boy. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to annoy me. It kind of ruined the excitement because you then sat there thinking, yeah, like the amount of times we said, okay, yeah, that's cool. Where's Theory? Come on, Theory. And then he does.
Every time there's a big spot, we're like, okay, where's Theory?
It's a shame because the match itself was fantastic. It was 25 minutes of pure car crash craziness.
Oh, people died.
It was the great car crash that the earlier one was not. You know, the first match was a bad car crash with a great finish. This was a great car crash with a great finish, if there is such a thing in this world. Obviously, these are all metaphors. I like this match. I did. I enjoyed it. I thought every guy had something. I'm not sold on Madcap Moss. He feels like a mid-card jobber. He does. He just doesn't feel like a big deal. He's got the body of a star, and he's got the personality and the gimmick of a basement bitch. That's how it feels. That's literally, he's there because he's ripped. That's all it feels like. I would have much rather seen Kevin Owens in this. I got to say, although I expected him to absolutely suck dick, I thought Omos was actually pretty decent in this match because he didn't have to do anything stupid. And the way they dispatched him, like all fucking 6 or 7
hell of a bomb.
Yeah, that's the mother of all power bombs. It's not really a power bomb, is it? Because just kind of, it was more of a crowd surf bomb. But
yeah, just kind of
just get him up and get him over. And it worked. It was very well done. And overall, I thought the match was great. I thought Riddle might win. He was my prediction. I thought Riddle was going to win. And if not, it was going to be Drew McIntyre and he would cash in at Clash at the Castle. And instead, Theory wins Money in the Bank. How long until Theory pulls the trigger, do you reckon?
I mean, I don't for a second believe he's going to be Roman Reigns. I don't care. Not for a second.
He's definitely Vince's boy, though, isn't he? Like, that's not a gimmick. He is Vince's boy. They are pushing him like mad. What do you reckon? He
sees like 2005 John Cena. That's what he sees in Theory right now.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon John Cena costs Theory to catch it, and that sets up the match?
I could see that, baby. No, maybe not SummerSlam. What, Survivor Series? Maybe no. That's two brand warfare because that's all they care about now is red versus blue.
Yeah, red versus blue, but they've unified the two major titles.
Yeah, Roman's actually just gonna fight himself, and
oh my god, it's still amazing. He's like got both fights. Starts doing the whole. He's fucking brilliant. I'll be up. Give me that. I'll take.
I think Theory's gonna hold it for a while. I really do. Maybe till at least WrestleMania.
I think he's going to try and cash in at SummerSlam. It's a last man standing match. Why would you make it last man standing? And also they said, yeah, this is the last match they'll ever have. Really?
Yeah, I heard that before.
First of all, not buying that. That's fucking bullshit. Second of all, what's the best device for Theory to cash in on arguably the two biggest monsters in the company's modern history? Last man standing. They both murder each other. They both go down. Maybe they both stay down. For a 10 count, Theory comes out, capitalizes, boom, off you go. I don't think Theory's ready to be a world champion.
No.
I think it takes a while.
Yeah, do you remember how rushed Orton got in 2004?
And then they
panicked off from Evolution.
They panicked.
Yeah, he lost the title a month later.
I think that was more Triple H was like, don't want this kid going over. I don't know why he's Randy Savage.
My belt.
You gotta beat the game. It's still Randy Savage. And the bottom line is, I am getting worked a bit here because I am like, I don't want you to be champion. I hate you and your stupid little selfies and your bullshit. And it's like, do you know what? He's a good heel. He's a dick. I look at him, I think, you obnoxious little prick. So he's obviously doing his job. I'm a bit of a mark, as to be said. But from an actual sensibility standpoint, booking standpoint, I just don't think there's enough there yet. I haven't seen good promos yet. His promos are okay. I liked his stuff with Lashley a little bit. I thought it was quite funny, spraying bacon on his face, but he feels too comedic. I want more seriousness from my main champions. I want him to feel like serious heavy hitters, and he's got a chance to build that up. You can hold this contract for a year. Don't spunk it away. Don't give it away early. Give him time to build slowly, organically, and well. Because eventually, if he is that good, he'll get over like The Rock did. Eventually, people will be like, this guy's legit. We're going to start cheering him because we like him. And that's when you want to start either pull the trigger on him being a mega heel, or you wait and you wait and you wait until you've built him up as much as possible. Give him the right opponents. Force him to have world-class matches. We know he's a great wrestler. We know he can have those great matches anyway. Do you know what's amazing? What was it? It's not even a year ago. He was on NXT fucking around with Johnny Gargano and that hilarious family angle being the idiots.
Oh, The Way.
Which, by the way,
I love The Way.
Favorite comedy TV and wrestling. I love that stuff. And it's weird to see him already this far up. He's stacked. He's huge. He's jacked. He's controversial. To be fair, he's got all the tools. He has got all the tools. What did you think of this pay-per-view overall? I thought this was an excellent show, and I wasn't expecting this to be any good.
I mean, Money in the Bank is it's probably my third favorite pay-per-view after the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. I love Money in the Bank because it sets up the storylines for the rest of the summer going into the fall. Because there's always that kind of lull between Mania and SummerSlam, and then kind of SummerSlam till the Rumble. So there's always kind of like a small dip where it just kind of gets boring. But I think this is the way to get Theory in particular ready. I think he could use this as a device to become more serious. Go, hey, Mr. McMahon, now there's an Austin you can be proud of. And just be like a little shithead, but still have incredibly good world-class matches. Tease a cash in, like run down, go and then just fuck off. I think he's gonna do that a couple times, I think. Or one of those, the belt never rang, I didn't actually cash in, like all the classic cliches a heel does with the briefcase. I think he can crank that up to 11. And this show was great. I really probably solid like 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, just like it's hard to believe it's been a year since Money in the Bank last year when John Cena came back. That's flying by way too quick.
That was a year. Oh my!
A year ago that John Cena came back and then challenged Roman Reigns. A year? What happened? Where did all that?
My.
I honestly feel like I blinked and I missed it. What happened in that year? I'm pretty sure I've done a lot of stuff, but yeah, it's gone flying by. It was great. It really was. Probably 8 out of 10 for me, 8.5. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in agreement now. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. I will go back and watch Theory and Bobby Lashley just to see if I missed much. But, I like Bobby Lashley, but I thought it was great. It had enough surprises. It had enough, joy. It had that big moment with Liv Morgan. So when Theory won, it was like, okay, that sucks for me. But I've seen, Liv Morgan get her moment in the sun, and that's really awesome too. So, and again, don't say that WWE isn't willing to kind of push other talents now, because, Theory's getting pushed to the moon. Liv Morgan's captured the title here. Bianca Belair is a massive, massive favorite, well over the crowd. She's racking up great wins and having great matches every single week as well. The women had prominent position here. They had 3 matches on a 6-match card. To be honest, this had a little bit of everything that WWE should have. It was just the right pay-per-view, especially in the build-up to SummerSlam. Let's just hope that SummerSlam can follow that up. Let us know what you think in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know what you think. What do you think? Let us know what you thought of Money in the Bank overall. I'm sure there's going to be haters. That's cool. Okay. Well, if we think it's shit, we'll say so. We're the most honest podcast walking this earth. We really are. We really believe that. But I feel like WWE did a great job tonight, and especially considering the amount of pressure they're under, the media scrutiny and things like that, pretty impressive. But yeah, from myself, Aeron and for Carl Wilkinson, thank you very much for watching. We will catch you very soon for more content for the rest of the vlog. Loads of watch-alongs coming, including the return of this gentleman next to me. This guy over here, he's very, this guy.
Oh yeah, I give us some shit.
It is good to have you back, sunshine. Try not to make it too long next time. Yeah, I swear I said that last time and you disappeared for 3 months. So it is what it is. But like I said, I've been the Egyptian Death Machine, Aeron X. He's been the Maple Leaf Magician, Carl Wilkinson, and we'll catch you very soon for more content from the rest of the vlog. Happy Canada Day. Where are you, Kevin Owens?
Oh, so many questions. Do I Jeff Hardy it?
Oh, no, because if you come down to save me, you have to do a dance first.